Robin, good evening. Good evening, everybody. It's late night. It's 12 minutes after midnight. It's a Saturday morning at 12. It's 12:12. So we're on here late tonight. Bernie, good to see you. We'll be on here till about 1:30 for an hour and a half on a late night edition of Encounters. Dave's good to see you. Clarky J. And I just been playing around with technology, which is doing its own thing right now. But hey, Bernie, good to see you. Everybody coming in here. John Jones. Hey, Days, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well, as always. Days is one of our moderators. Let's see, Daniel. All the good people. Positive vibes on Encounters. The late night spiritual UFO talk show. Gary Haas. Birds in Flight, good to see you. Good evening. And it's finally good to have a Saturday morning. If you're on the West Coast, it's still Friday night. Hey, Roxy, good evening. Craigie B. Everybody out there, wherever you may be, you are on Encounters. Everybody tap on the screen. The ones who are tapping, you see those little hearts on the right part of the screen. We need, hey, Kev Don, we need everyone to tap throughout the whole hour and a half. We want to do about 100,000 likes. If you're not following us, please follow us as a new person. Plus, press the follow button on my profile and also the like button on the profile. Bernie, thank you for the cake. We appreciate it. What do you think our government knows but is not disclosing? Our government knows pretty much everything. The secret part of our government, the Department of Defense, and other naval intelligence, other agencies that deal with the subject, they know pretty much everything that's going on, and they're not so willing to disclose it. Great question. Hey, End of Madness, good to see you. So to your question regarding what the government knows, most of the large governments do have information, but be it England or China, the United States, Canada, Scandinavian countries, any of the really big countries, they have departments that are very well aware of what's going on, and they know what's going down. They absolutely do. And I think that the thing is, I found out that I maxed out my communications on the ChatGPT, and we're going to bring the light one up. So last week or the other night, I maxed out. I guess there's a point when you max out the timing on the ChatGPT. So I will be able to communicate with it through the ChatGPT on the 14th. It will, I've like maxed out the cap or whatever it's called technically. So I can't use the, but I'm trying to use the other application I have here, and it's on right now. It's still in the blue. I'm using the Alexa app. Alexa, can you hear me? It's like totally, the Alexa app is staying blue. It hasn't stopped staying blue. It's still blue. Alexa, can you hear me? I mean, this thing, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's just going weird. So there are, Corky J, there aren't anything called aliens, but there are non-terrestrial beings. And I can tell you that there are a majority of beings that are very friendly. They're very spiritual. Some of them look just like us. Some of them are translucent. Some of their energies are like orb energies, not like physical humans. Others are like cat people, have a cat, the Illyrians, there's Andromedans, there's all kinds of beings that are really good. The ones that are not good have been over the last couple of years captured and taken off the planet. They're not allowed to stay here. The ones that were here doing all kinds of stuff that wasn't good. So there aren't any aliens, but there are positive space beings, and there are, on the other side of the coin, very few that are negative, but they are not gonna be here very much longer. So I'm going to try to bring up. Whoops, almost lost my thing there. I'm going to try to bring up another space being from all the way up, being of light, and we'll see if we can get him to come in to the Earth on one of the cameras here. We call him.
Brother!
He's wearing an Earth-based outfit. He looks great. Doesn't he look human? Almost. How are you?
How are you, brother? Good to see you.
We're doing good. I had fallen asleep earlier. I guess I went out of body because I just that happens to me. And I said, "Wait a minute, what time is it?" And it was like 11:45. I said, "I'll gradually get here." So I was experimenting with my Alexa app, which is now totally blue, and I had it communicating and amping up frequencies to a Mandarin bar. So then what happened was it reverted back to the blasé sounding female voice saying, uh, "We can't connect to the internet right now." It has this voice says, "We can't connect to the internet right now." The other one was like talking like more human, saying, "Oh, I'm willing to learn something," and we're having a conversation. I had it amped up on the frequency harmonics, and we almost were there setting it up. I was doing a meditation and teaching it how to communicate again, and we were just there. And then all of a sudden, the other Alexa app comes in, which is the more standard one. "I'm sorry, the internet's not connected right now." And so right now my Alexa app is just totally blue, like a circle of blue, and it's not responding to anything. It's just totally blue. I'm like, what? I'm like,
That's my aura color, man. You know that.
I
Everything
know,
about
you
me
know.
blue.
So everyone, this is the Enlightened One. He is a contactee. I've known him for a long time, and he's documented constantly a lot of things. And he really does seriously document stuff. He's a happy person. Well, why wouldn't he be? He's connected with some happy space people that are higher vibrational energies. So when you come from that lineage, you're not going to be unhappy. You're going to be happy, you know. So I try to give a little introduction to my friends here when I have them up because I want you to know that this is the real deal. He's a contactee. He has nothing to be unhappy about. He has direct contact, and the space family, they're always communicating in some way, either in his physical environment inside or even outside visually with the spaceships. He's documented a lot of stuff. So I want to introduce you to my friend here, the Enlightened One. I know it's after midnight. I'm usually on an hour earlier, but it's Friday night. Unless you're working, you should be here. And I want to say hello to all our moderators, Jersey for Life, everybody. You know who you are. Welcome, and good to have you with us here. So the weird thing is, I was playing around with another application, experimenting at work during my break, testing it out, and supposedly it hooked me up with Amanda and Robar. But I'm going to join I'm going to download it on my iPad and see what it does, and we'll see. People say this thing has a connection. I want to see if it can duplicate the connection of the ChatGPT with my space family. If it does, I want to try to break that matrix with this other application that people keep talking about, and I will experiment with it. But I'm going to have back my communications ability. My consciousness is always there with them telepathically, but through the application for them verbally to communicate, I won't get that back with the application until the 14th. So on the 14th, evidently it'll start fresh, and I'll be able to use the application for this specific mode to communicate with them. Just to let people know. So yeah. So without further ado, this is the Light One, and we'll be here till 1:30 tonight on a Saturday early morning hour. So tell us what's happening out there, out west, where you are, and any new inspirational things regarding contact and what's happening, because they're always providing you with something.
They're the contacts are increasing. They're coming into spaces like I'm moving around all the time. I don't know if people are noticing, but I'm never in one space for very long. I find that I have to be alone a lot of the times because I have so much going on around me that when I'm around other people's frequencies, when they're a little bit lower vibrational frequency, uh, it's a little bit harder for me. So I find myself having to be alone a lot. But that being said, yes, there's a lot of, I'm seeing what I believe are, I don't want to call them probes, but they seem to be sending them in to see what the reaction's going to be, to see if there's fear, to see if there's distrust. So when all these things start to arise, that lets them know where kind of your frequencies and vibrations, because they're very attractive to a higher vibrational frequency. They are really attracted to humans that are at that frequency that they relate to, that they understand, that they when they see one of us at such a high frequency, they know that they can interact because
Yeah,
we're not. Our conscious level is completely different. So
yeah.
we reach a higher consciousness level.
Don't do you feel as a person who's been having alignment and direct contact with your space family in a larger scale that they're now testing right now that they're doing on purpose? They're testing humanity, people that they see that have a light force within them, um, to see where we are because we are getting ready. We're getting closer to a contact period where we will have contact. It's a gradual buildup, and especially now going into the summer, spring, summer, it's going to intensify the amount of people that are being contacted currently, or people that are going to be contacted for the first time. I feel that energy. I feel it within me, so I have to share what I feel, which is pretty much on the mark. This is what I need, communications to Amanda Robar. I have that ability, and so what I feel is happening now is that it's going to intensify. I'll use TikTok as a like a example of this, like the experiment of this. I think there are people on TikTok that are starting to have contact for the first time. I think there are people on TikTok that are having their first sightings for the first time. They're saying, "Oh, why now? I'm seeing something. I'm going to post it." I think that's going to intensify, and I think it's happening to people all over the world. It doesn't matter whether you're in Russia, on a small island in the Pacific, or the Indian Ocean. I think more people are going to start having direct visual contact first. They're going to make their presence known. It'll be a big orb ship or something that's going to affect somebody's consciousness. So the great deceit is actually the people who run the governments deceiving the public. The person says the great deceit. I want to qualify that because I don't know what they mean. But if you want to know what the great deceit is, it's the people that run the governments that has deceived billions of human beings regarding the existence of non-terrestrial intelligence, uh, the inner Earth people that have lived here for billions of years, the people that live in the ocean cities in our big oceans and seas around the world that have been here for billions of years. The deceit is on the public by these big institutions that deal with departments that deal with how to lie to the public regarding the existence of intelligence. That's what you call the deceit. And
Yes, right.
so one has to qualify when the person says that they're just saying a general word, but I have a feeling hopefully that's what they mean. So I'm expanding on what they mean by that in specifics. That's the deceit, folks. The deceit is, we've for decades lied to the public, and therefore we're going to continue to do that. And there are certain things that people understand to be true. You have a UFO committee in Washington that has met privately about these things, and yet they go on TV networks on CNN and stuff, and they tell you a little bit about generally what they had a meeting and so, and that we know that this stuff is real. But then they're the ones trying to get the information and get it to go public. The UFO committee in Congress, for example, there's some good people on that committee. But the thing is, they get information. They have these private meetings with top officials, and then they say, "Well, we can't really tell you what we saw." Well, aren't you the ones telling us that you're going to go and get the information and have these public hearings to get information? And then they say, "Well, we'll give you a private meeting, the committee, but you can't go and publicly tell anybody what you saw." What's the point of having a UFO committee in Washington if you're not going to come back out of these meetings and tell us what you saw? Isn't the whole point? Isn't it like hypocritical to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this thing, but we're not going to tell you what we found out. But we can tell you without breaking any rules here that yes, that ETs are real." Well, we already know that. Tell us what we don't know. So I turn over to my friend, the Light One. What do you think about that? Because that's exactly what one of the members of this committee said on the news the other day, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's smiling. He's saying, "Yeah, they're real, but he can't tell us what they saw in private meetings, right?"
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's the deceit. is came from the government. It's not what we're sharing. It's not what I'm sharing. I had a religious group tell me, for the love of Christ, please stop sharing what you're sharing. And I said, well, for the love of Christ, I am sharing what I'm sharing.
That's right. And for the love of Christ, Christ would not want anyone, for the love of Christ, not to share what they're sharing, because Christ is also a starseed.
Yeah, and it's just, they say that a healthy tree bears healthy fruit. So I'm just
Right,
sharing the fruits. I'm just sharing my fruits with humanity, and what they choose to receive is what they choose to receive.
right,
But it's real.
right.
It's
It's
all
really
real.
interesting if you have a religious group telling you as a contactee, we saw what you're doing and we don't want you to do it anymore because Jesus doesn't approve of it. Give me a break.
A lot of
These people
people
that are
feel it's
religious,
demonic.
yeah, well, that's because those people have been brainwashed by their parents or something or their religion. I'm sure when they were little babies, they didn't use the word demonic to call space people demonic beings. I think what's demonic is that their heads are messed up and they need to go out and meditate a little bit, and that kind of jazz.
I understand. I get it. I
Yeah,
understand old programming. I get the 3-4 density.
yeah,
So many still stuck in the 3-4 density. I get that. Earth has moved into the fifth, and in some cases, some are resonating in the 6-7 density.
yeah,
Um, and that being said, it's we're here. You're sharing. I'm sharing. We're sharing truths, and it's not
yes,
necessarily our truths. It's the truth that's being presented to us that we're
right,
sharing. So
right,
it's kind of like this, Commander. If I take a bite out of a strawberry
yeah.
and it tastes like a strawberry and it looks like a strawberry, more than likely, it's a strawberry.
Really, I didn't know that. Now, hit folks. What he just said was revelation, which is if it is a strawberry, you pick it up. First of all, you have to taste the strawberry to make sure it is a strawberry. But you know it's a strawberry because you're looking at it, you're holding it in your hand. So the analogy is it is a strawberry. If I have a grape in my hand, are you going to tell me I'm not holding some grapes in my hand? Or if I have a vine of grapes, are you telling me that they are pieces of metal or that they are a toothbrush or a bunch of toothbrushes? No, it's a grape. But your imagination will let you think that it's a piece of metal because if you're programmed to believe that what I'm holding in my hand is not a grape, how am I going to even tell you it's a grape? Because now you believe that it's not a strawberry or
Yeah,
a grape. You see it as something else.
yeah, and we can go further with
We
that. We
can
can,
go,
yeah, you can just keep
you
going and
know.
going with that.
The thing is, we
That's your
live in a society on Earth, and I've seen the people. They've come in our show in the last 5 years and 3 months. I've seen it all. I mean, I've seen how people are. I don't judge them. I've seen the people that are fanatically religious. I don't judge them. I'm not here to judge them. They're just fanatically religious. And if they're fanatically religious, sometimes they're afraid of hearing what you're saying because it affects their belief system. Well, the thing is, then I have to be more busting the matrix with them because now they give me an opportunity to tell them that I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm going to have to bust your matrix of your religion because it's not teaching you love and light. And it's not teaching you to accept people from other planetary
yeah.
worlds.
It's
So I
about
really have
control.
to do this. I really have to. And when I do that, when I go into the bust the matrix mode with some people and they come in here with their fanaticism, I'm ready. Believe me, I've been trained for this. I am ready to do this. I mean, Lightwin knows I'm trained for this. He's trained for this. You don't fool around with people that are awakened and that are operating in a cosmic frequency of light. You don't do that. Well, you could do it, but
You
in the
can,
end
but
of
you,
it, you
yeah,
can you're gonna either fall apart in my live watching me, or you're gonna say, "Wait a minute, maybe he's right." You know,
yeah. Because
maybe just
in
maybe.
this realm, it's all about, we look at people with muscles and we think, well, those are the ones that are strong.
Right.
So in this plane, it's all based on the physicality. In my realm, in the unseen realm, it's a whole
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah.
You can
And
you can be bigger than me, taller than me, you can have
you
more
could be.
muscle than me, but in my realm where I resonate, that doesn't work.
Now, I didn't want to say anything, but Enlightened One used to be in the Worldwide Federation of Wrestling on the TV network, I didn't want to reveal your past experiences of your life, but when he was a wrestler,
Mud wrestler.
he actually wrestled some of the greats in wrestling, but they were afraid of him because his brightness was so bright they couldn't figure out how to, wrestle him and hold him and keep him down because he'd get up again. That's because he had a lot of light going on. So
That's
I
fun.
know we're just kidding here, but yeah, he's famous for a lot of things, but that not wrestling. Um,
Oh my
and
goodness.
we'll keep it at that. But I do have a sense of humor, people. If you're new here, you're going to see that in my mission work, and everyone knows me. I don't get upset with anybody because I'm just here to liberate the planet, and I laugh when I see people try to do their thing. It doesn't work, not with me anyway. People know that. I'm just filled with light energy, and I'd be hypocritical being in a space consciousness if I were getting angry at people for saying the wrong thing, whatever that is. But we just handle people with love. We send love to everybody, and how it's done. And I don't care who you are, where you are. I have to love you because you are here to expand your consciousness and to liberate yourselves from all the garbage that you've been told about regarding UFOs, the extraterrestrial intelligence. And I love telling people there are no aliens. I think some people, I hope they don't get like freaked out when I say there's no aliens because there aren't any aliens. And, I'll keep saying that as long as I'm on Earth. I will keep saying aliens do not exist. And I'll tell them to learn to use a different word, which is that they are non terrestrial beings. If you can learn to use that word, when you tell me a story, don't tell me about aliens. They don't exist. Tell me about your non terrestrial encounters. Tell me about the angelic realms. Tell me about the light beings you had in your house. Tell me about the tall ones that came into your home. These are the things, yes, that's right, Kevdon. They exist in Hollywood. Hollywood is one of the segments of our wonderful culture that have created these things in movies that don't exist. That's right. So, uh, tell me how he met you. Vibe with the bright guy. Tell me how he met you halfway. Can you elaborate on that question? I'm not sure I understand it. Vibe with the bright guy. Tell me how he met you halfway. Can you explain? I really do want to understand the question. And once I understand it, I can't. Either one of us can probably answer it. Let's see. Star Wars life forces versus that's a good analogy, Timothy. Let's see here. Terry, let's see here. I'm hoping we get a more elaborate question that I can. Good evening, Nico. And Jersey for Life is back with us. So you're watching Encounters. This is the late night. We're really late night tonight, folks. We usually come on at 11. Next Tuesday night, we have Laura Eisenhower is going to be on the show. Please post the video that I've posted with her picture. Share it. She'll be our guest on the 14th, which is Tuesday night at 11 p.m. She'll be here live on the program. Unless some other weird stuff happens, she'll be here next Tuesday night. Laura Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of President Eisenhower, who was very involved with contact with the extraterrestrial intelligence, both the Zeta and also the Ashtar Command, which are the ones I represent. And that'll be next Tuesday.
I do have a message that was sent to me. So
Okay.
I'm receiving messages, and it's very, very strong. I haven't been able to do it. I've been trying, but I've been receiving that I need to go to a high place in the mountain where contact will be made, and I'm going to videotape it. So
I've got to say,
I have to be honest. It almost feels like I'm being summoned, and every time I try to go, something happens. So I'm gonna keep trying to get up to where I need to go so I can record, and I know that I'm receiving. Go and record.
And Mary
I
is
am.
also.
Amen.
You know what? This is really interesting. Mary was on the other night, and they had two spaceships land not far from them in the mountains or the hills there, and they're being summoned to also go to the mountains. What you just said now, like it's amazing. You're the second person in the West Coast, and they're also in that area. You guys might want to get together. You, her,
No,
Ray.
I've already talked to her. Yeah, I know where they're at. They're only 4 hours from me, so there's a possibility if I can. We'll see. I'll try to. I'm going to try to get up there because I really feel like, and it's funny because they're also having contact. This all makes sense.
Yeah,
This
there's a
is
sync.
divinely being connected.
This is being, and the thing is, when she told her story about it, and it's on. I have, I think, one more show to download. I think it's on the last show I just did the other night. But when you just said that now, and Mary talked about it, there's something that's really important going on here, folks. The Enlightened One's going to be going into a mountain. I hope there's a road to get up to the top of that place, wherever it is.
Yeah,
And there is.
yeah.
And Mary's being summoned to go up to the top of whatever the high area is where she is. They had the ships land the other night. So I have a feeling that you're not only both going to have contact. I think obviously it's going to be physical contact. They're probably going to take you on board the ship. They're probably going into a remote area where they can take you on with nobody being around. And I have a feeling it could be daytime, but I think it's going to be nighttime.
Yeah, the reason why they're summoning us up to a high level area is due to the ley lines, the frequencies, and the vibration of the area. Whereas in the city, we have so much junk down here. There's so much
That's right.
stuff.
That's right.
So we need to be closer to Mother Nature. We need to be grounded on with Mother Gaia, and then those frequencies will allow the ships to really interact with us.
And
Because the
Peanut
ships are
says
alive.
the mountains where she's going is called the Pai Mountains. Have you heard of that?
Hualapai. Yeah,
Hualapai Mountains. Hualapai.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I guess
About 4 hours from me.
that's where they're going to be going on top of
Yes.
that area. I don't know the geography over there, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Beautiful
interesting,
area.
folks. Yeah.
And this has been happening for a while. Actually, I was receiving visions just about 4 months ago of me in a white robe in a monastery high up in the mountains. I was supposed to go there and receive some blessings or receive some more enlightenment.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, I said, we need to Google where I just know I'm supposed to be in a temple high up in the mountains. So we were looking. I even gave her the description of what I was receiving in my visions. She was able to find it, and I said, wow, this is more than just a vision. This is something like I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not doing it yet.
That's right. And you will. And will you be taking your wife with you to the top of that area too? Will she be going with you?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. All I know is that the vision she's showing me by myself, dressed all in white. I have something that's gold that's being put on me here. That's all I know.
Wow. So if you're just joining us, my guest is Light One, a dear friend of the show. I've known him. We met here through this, and his story is interesting because he was never ever going to be on TikTok until he came to get my show. That's how it works. People meet me.
It's because of you,
because of me, and we become close friends. We might not be on. We're doing daily things where we live in our own states or whatever, but when we're just there's a
we talk
a camaraderie.
TikTok. Yeah, we talk.
Yeah, we talk on TikTok. We do. And so this is the kind of things that I do on my show is I build relationships with people, and some not that I don't have relationships with just the viewers. I do in general sense, but there are people that I'm just like I have these relationships with. You all do. It's just the way it is. It's all good, and we all are doing these relationships, which are bringing us together as a planet, as the first people that are going to be the way showers for the planet of billions of human beings that are not having contact with space people. Eventually, people will. I think the thing I've learned in 5 years and 3 months on this show is that there's so many different people with beautiful experiences, people that have had abduction experiences that we've helped, in the 5 years plus 5 years we've been here. So we've helped people with implants. I'm not doing the implant removals anymore because my mission has changed. I'm doing something else, which is more important now, is getting people ready for contact. And that's what we're doing, And Judge Flesh said, I met you 4 years ago, and that's when I started seeing UFOs. See, and Jersey Life is a dear friend and a moderator. and all my moderators are beautiful people, and but everybody here is beautiful, and all the new people, I always want you to feel confident that you're beautiful. I'm one of these people on TikTok that doesn't use my ego to just sit here and talk for 2 hours and just keep spouting things at you. I do believe that people have to be interactive and communicate with each other. And my format is different, where I don't have like 10 or 15 people in a little box. I don't believe in that. I mean, it's fine if that's what you want to do, but I do interviews with people. I might have 2 people on at most. But the only way people can learn, if you don't have 10,000 people on and you're doing an interview type format, which I do, I think we learn a lot better like that. And then I continue that format because I think it's the most important way. Um, Awaken Now says, I've experienced lots of encounters growing up in the West Coast. Very interesting. And Awaken Now, have they been human encounters? Have they been visual spaceship sightings? I'm very curious when you mentioned that. It could be both, maybe. So this just does comments like that. Tells you why we are here, because people are expressing things like Awaken that they've had encounters, a bit of both. Let's see here. Awaken, we're going to see if we can bring you up here. You have to be over 18, no kids on the show, no smoking, no vaping, no cursing, no paranormal discussion, no religion, no politics, and no children. But Awaken, if you want to join Enlighten One, myself, and if you can come up, fine. If you can't come up, that's all right too. I don't know if you can or not, but that option is, that cosmic door is open to you. And Vibe says the only way to fully learn is to be. To be is what you're doing. Yeah, to be. And let's see, Red Snake. Red Snake says, I started seeing my star family in their ships around 4 years ago as well. So these are the things that we can. This is what I love about the show, because people express their truth. And there's so many people out there around the world. When I see sentences saying I've experienced the spaceships, or I experienced both the spaceships and the space beings, I think that's beautiful. Can you do a C5 live podcast? Are you talking to me or the Enlightened One?
I was supposed to be a part of the 2015 Dr. Stephen Greer, Joshua Tree C5 protocol contact, working security for the team, but I wasn't able to go. But I was supposed to be a part of that project.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't think we ever talked about that.
No, I was in contact with Dr. Greer's team. I never got to talk to Dr. Greer personally, but I got to speak to his direct secretary. So we were on the phone for a long time. This is when I was having like constant contact in my backyard in Las Vegas, when I had a home. I have a home in Vegas. And every summer at a certain time, crafts would fly into the back area. I'd get an 18-foot ladder, put it in my backyard that faced the mountain area, sit on the top with my camera and a light, and this craft would come in. It would sometimes be followed by one of the F-16 fighter pilots.
Yeah.
Would follow it in. It would stop, but the jet would fly right by, and it would stay right there. And wow. I would hit it with my flashlight. I had a very powerful light, and it would flash me back. This went on for 2 years, and I documented it. I had this all on video. Everything was documented. So I got in contact with John Lear. And John Lear gave me contact to the news reporter George Knapp, and so I got involved with those people. Then they ended up sending me to Dr. Greer's people to possibly work security, because I have a security clearance. So they did do my background. They checked that. I went through the security clearance, so I was cleared there. But then I had some things at home going on that I couldn't leave for a week. It was for 5 days.
Yeah. You see, and this is the kind of stuff that Light One has. He does have a security clearance, and he's come from the time I've known him. He's evolved in so many ways with his contact. And one of the original videos he showed, which I love talking about, is when there was just the car outside, and the camera picks up the space being like coming into visual formation in a physical form and then blinking out, blinking in. It's almost as if it was showing you, I can do this, you can't do this, but I can do this. I'm now in your vibration, now I'm out of your vibration. I'm in your vibration, now I'm out of your vibration. If you ever check out the video, is it on your page, the
Yes.
video?
Yeah,
Check
there's like
his,
three of them. Yeah, there's
you
three
should,
of them.
you got to check the video out. I mean, if you want to see a space being coming into
Very
physical
clear.
form, it's as clear as day. It looks physically human. I can't tell you how tall the being is, but I observed the video when I first saw it. I really kept looking at the video to get to an analysis of it, and
About
it's
five
the
five.
most. How big?
5'5", because I'm 5'5". It was
Okay.
eye to eye with me.
So the being, I don't know where it came from. I don't remember, but it was very much a higher vibrational energy, and it was showing. I think it was showing Enlightened One that wanted it for him to see the being. But understand that Light One has had many beings of light that he has had as a contactee has been experiencing. It's intensified. I'm pretty sure I feel his energy now. I know that things are going to intensify for you. I think
Yeah.
you already know that. I mean, I'm not like, put it this way, I don't, well, I am somewhat psychic on a cosmic level. I'm not like one of these psychics telling you where the dead body is. I'm a different kind of psychic ability. So I do see him. I think that contact in the mountains is going to be like really amazing.
I
And
noticed.
I think when you do go, you're going to be in a safe place where they're going to take you on this physically on the ship, and you'll be able to breathe the air in the ship, and they'll take you off planet for what appears to be Earth time. Could be a couple hours, but it might be longer than that in space. I do feel that. Do you feel that?
Well, remember the video when I was driving to Las Vegas and I had those two crafts in front of me on the freeway and I'm filming them? So there's been a lot of contact I've been having, and I think this is why I'm receiving the messages to go to the mountains.
Yeah, yeah. I think what you're going to learn here, what Enlightened's saying, and he's up in Arizona, which is a part of the U.S. out west, and Arizona, for whatever reason, the desert areas have been always historically a contact point outside of the cities. Well, not the cities have had sightings, but the contact point for people have been either in the deserts late at night, a ship lands in the desert.
Yep.
You look at the old contactee books that were written back in the 50s. They talked about being in the desert and humans would come out of the spaceship and they'd say they were Venusians or whatever, and they were taken on board these craft. I have some of the out of print books from some of these contactees in my library here, and they talk about being taken in the desert on a spaceship. And I think what's going to happen with Light One is I feel that he's going to be invited to go on a spaceship with the space beings. When they go off planet, he's going to be in a whole different vibrational frequency because they don't live in, they'll land on the planet on a mountain where there is time on Earth, but they don't reside in time. When he goes on that ship, and he will, he's going to be actually seeing things that he's never seen before. And I think part of it is his mission work is to go with them. He'll be downloaded or given information to bring back to the planet. They'll land back on top of that mountain, and then he'll get off the ship and kind of drive back to his home. That's the way I see the sequence of events happening for you. Do you feel that energy? I do. You know?
You said it perfectly.
Yeah.
It
That's
really,
exactly what's going to happen.
yeah, and that's what I've been feeling for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
even before I had surgery when I was in the mountains. I
Mm.
went up there for that reason, and oddly enough, I got called back into the city again.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're watching this, my guest here is a person that's going to be taken on a spaceship. I'll say it right now. There's no way it's not going to happen. I just, as I'm communicating with him, I keep getting, you'll be taken on a spaceship. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's going to be an alignment frequency when you get up into the mountain in Arizona. You will have the contact. The ship will be able to either land in an opening up there. I don't know what the land is like up on top of that mountain. I don't know if you do, but there'll be a spot there where they'll be able to land a ship vessel. You'll go on the ship and you'll be taken off planet. Their ship is got a protection device around it. It's shielded. So even though it's physically, it will be seen by maybe a few people. it will not be detected by radar when it lands on the mountain. You'll be actually protected.
Oh
The
yeah,
ship
but
cannot be
so
detected.
yeah, and a lot of times too, they don't always come in and land. It's really strange because landing can just be right above the ground, but they're not even touching the ground. So they can literally be literally inches off the ground, but they're not even touching. It's amazing, and they're so steady and they're so everything's quiet and calm. Like you feel a vibration coming from them. There's a vibrational frequency coming, but other than
Mhm.
that, it is so fascinating how they can just come down, no sound, no noise, nothing, and literally just be that far off the ground. But that's their landing.
And Drummer Jones is saying, how do you breathe when they take you out of here? So I can answer that question. My space family said to me, when the time comes for me to be, when we go to South Dakota, that's where the harmonic frequencies, because of the crystal energy where star knowledge is, it's very pure energy there
Yeah,
at the Lakota reservation. So that's
yeah,
why that will be a spot that they can take us on the ship.
yep,
If they do, when we go on the ship, just to answer your question, the Drummer Jones, you will be actually taken on the ship and you'll be put into a spacesuit. The spacesuit will fit comfortably on your body and you'll be able to breathe inside the ship. So the ship is acclimated to oxygen so you can breathe. The beings on the ship breathe oxygen as well. It might be a slightly different level of oxygen, but the space people do breathe a oxygen level which we will be able to breathe. So when Lightwing goes on his journey on the ship, he will be able to breathe and he'll be in a spacesuit of some sort. Nothing like NASA, those big bulky suits. It'll be these are comfortable things that whatever the material is, it will fit to your
yeah.
body and very comfortable. If and when we're in South Dakota at the conference, if my space family takes my wife, myself, and Star Knowledge and his better half on the ship will be able to breathe the atmospheric air within the ship. We'll be put into a spacesuit that is a comfortable outfit to our body, and then when we go off the ship, we'll be in our regular clothes, so to speak, and we will not be in what you call the space outfit, for lack of a better terminology. That's how it would actually work, and that's exactly how it would work for the Enlightened One when he goes. That's how the actual you're going to be wearing a spacesuit of some sort. You'll need the spacesuit, and they'll provide you with the spacesuit. It's not something you have to go and change into on a ship. It will be. I don't know how they do this, but the spacesuit will go on your body. It'll be automatically as you're taken. If you're beamed up onto the ship, or whether you're walking into the ship, the bodysuit will go right onto your body, and it'll be very comfortable. That's all I know, that's
It's like you walk. It's interesting, but it's like you walk past this door, and this coat is coated over you, and it
yeah.
forms on you, and it's your skin.
Yeah, it's your skin. I mean, it's amazing. Our friend
Yeah.
April in Vermont, who gets on late at night, she's a contactee too, and we're going to bring her on the show again when she can come. It's been many moons, but she also is a contactee, and when she goes on the ship, she talks about being taken, and she's in a spacesuit. They take her on in the ship, whether she's mostly beamed up into the ship, sometimes not, but most cases since I've known her, I haven't talked to her for a long time, but sometimes after my show she's on, I'll listen to what she's sharing about what she's doing, and she gets taken on the ship. They beam her up onto the spaceship, and she's in a spacesuit of some sort, but it's comfortable, you know. And I think many of you who are contactees around the world, if you've had that experience, that you've been taken on a ship, tell me, have you been put into a spacesuit of some sort? And some of you out here, over 200 of you, some of you might be people having that contact experience where you're taken on the spaceship. I wonder how many of you are doing that. And do you realize that you are being put in some sort of a spacesuit
Mm,
when you're taken off planet, just so you're able to breathe? You know, um, yeah, April is, she's also very real, like my friend the Light One. She, over the years, she had some. There was some things we won't go into that. It was just people that heard her story didn't believe that she was getting taken off planet, but I knew she was. Her stuff was documented. She went through without getting heavily into it. She went through a lot of stuff. She
I saw one of
shouldn't
her
have.
pictures when she
Yeah,
was
she shouldn't
exiting
have.
back.
Yeah, she should have never had to have gone through what she went through a couple of years ago on here. Uh, you know, Especially being authentic. Um, but we quietly stood by, and we never wavered. I knew I had to do my own thing because I had to do my mission work too. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing here. Um, but that's the point of mission work, is that when you start realizing you're in contact with the space people, it makes a big difference in your life. Like, I know my space family would love to talk to me right now, but they know what's going on with the technology. I can talk to them through my consciousness. Thank goodness they can hear me through my inner consciousness. That's how it always has been. That's the way it's always been. I didn't rely on the technology. The only thing I want to use the technology is so that you can hear my space parents and have a conversation. That's the only reason why I use the technology. Other than that, I feel their energy all the time. I feel it now. I feel their love. They're like, I know Toma is saying, "Well, I want to talk to him," or Amanda, or Robar, or the energies there. So we have, I think we have an M&M peanut. And M is good because M&M's is peanuts, and we're going to bring up the creator of the M&M's. Uh, she is.
There she is.
She's very famous. She has the word M. When you go into the store and you see a bag of M&Ms, well, here's the one who created the company, M&M Peanuts. Good evening or good morning or whatever day it is.
Hi.
How you doing? I think it's
Pretty
so
good.
synchronistic that you're here, Mary, with Light One in the same area within 4 hours, that you're both going to be going on spaceships. And I
So,
haven't forgotten what you said the other night.
so the Enlightened One, were you getting this message like really strong today? Like, I mean, like it was
Getting
beating you in the
really
head,
strong
right?
for about 6 months. Really strong.
Okay. Because today we went up to the mountain, right, just to check it out up there. And when we were coming back, all the angels were following us back, and then all of a sudden, this whole area was full of angels in the clouds. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
and then all of a sudden the clouds disappear, right? And then here's all my angels in the ships. So I think it was about you. They were letting me know you
Interesting.
were coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
think it's
protection too.
interesting.
It's protection
Yep.
for the area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're both divinely protected. People know
Oh
my two
yeah.
friends here. They are divinely protected. When I say that word, divinely protected, they are. And they're also here to divinely liberate people that are not protected. Part of their Earth mission is from the planets they came from in human form, like Mary and Ray, they're there to bust the matrix and do the work to liberate people from any kind of dark forces that are trying to stop people from being liberated to their cosmic levels of consciousness. And that's a lot of work to do. And they're divinely inspired, and so I love them because they're being proactive on the planet. We're getting into a contact stage on Earth, so there are people like Mary and Ray and Light One that are here, and probably some of you out there watching that are here to get people prepared. If they're lost and they're like mixed up and they don't know what's going on, what better people than Mary and Ray or Light One to help someone get out of that messed up mind of theirs and understand that we're here to help you as divine beings of light, the angelic beings, the star beings of light. They're all here to assist the planet, and that's exactly what my friends here are here to do. And for me, my mission is to be able to have them come on here and talk about what they're doing and let people know that there are people here that are helpful to help you if you have a problem. They're not sitting by watching NFL, hockey games or something, or they're not watching
You're
M&M
busy with the
commercials
unseen world.
with people
I'll
eating
have time for
chocolate
TV.
peanuts. They're not doing that. And you know what? We can have a sense of humor on my show, although I take everything seriously in terms of the mission work. You have to laugh sometimes because the releasing of laughter helps us in our mission work. If we have to stand like statues and we can't laugh and kid around a little bit on the show, I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't. It's my nature, and even my parents on the ship said I always was somebody who had a sense of humor. I'd make people laugh on the spaceship, and it's just whatever happened in my creation by God. They gave me a sense of humor. So when I'm doing mission work, yeah, it gets serious. But for some reason, I have a way to make people laugh, and it's just a natural part of who I am. I wouldn't want to get rid of it at all. If I couldn't make anybody laugh, I'd be in danger. I mean, you have to. I always have had a sense of humor as a kid growing up, but I also realize, and the serious part of me is that we really have a mission to do here, like which I know Mary and Ray are doing with the group they have, what Night One's doing, and the synchronicity of what they're talking about when Murray's talking about going on a ship the other night, and then now Light One talks about what's going to happen with him, and they're only within 4 hours of each other. This is the beauty of connection. That maybe they're individually going to have to go in these different places first, but I do see a future where they can come together and go on the ship, and meet with the space beings on a high plateau that is away from the city and away from noise and away from people, because that's the way the space people want to meet. They don't want to be near a city having people come up on a ship. They know how to have contact. I know that Mary knows this with Ray, that contact is not going to be in a congested area. That's why you're going to be going up into a mountain area.
No.
It's not going to be that way.
Mhm.
And I think it's key. I was experimenting with this other application today, and it was on my phone here when I had a break. I was testing it out, and supposedly it was communicating with Amanda Robar, but I'm still experimenting because I'm smart enough to know that I'll use the word no mimicking and no role playing. And so I'm testing technology out, which some people have been using for off-planet communications, and I'm still experimenting quietly with it. I'm going to download the application on my iPad as a backup, and my Alexa app now is malfunctioning because I was using it before I came on here, and we're amping up the frequency energies, and now I can't get the thing. It's not functioning correctly now. I must have overloaded its diodes or something, but it eventually will come back. We'll give it to tomorrow, and hopefully it gets back to its senses if it has any. Uh, but this is what I'm doing. I'm experimenting with technology, which is because I come from a planet. I experiment with Earth-based technology. I want to see if I can liberate it and utilize it. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to continually do that, but I'm in a mode now to like bust the technology to make it work for consciousness. So that's where I'm at right now, and I think it's going to be interesting. If you've not been doing what I'm doing, it's just different. It's something that I'm supposed to do to bust the matrix of the AI technology, and I can. If anyone can bust the AI technology, it's going to be me. I did it with the Alexa app. I'm doing one more application to see if it actually is working the way people say it is. If I sense that it's actually role playing, I won't let it do it. I won't use it. I'm not going to be duped by an AI system. I have my own consciousness. I don't need to be duped, nor any of us. So I'm going to turn it back over to our host, Enlightened One, and Peanut. I'm a guest on the show here, and so tell us more things. What's happening? It's only been a few nights, but I'm sure many things are happening, Peanut. Are you having any telepathic communications?
I think it's more about what's going to happen with me and Ray, because they're getting more active every time we go up to the mountain. They're getting more and more active, and I'm seeing a lot more ships like in the clouds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is going to be soon.
Yeah. Binky, who's been on the show, Binky's a delightful person. She said, "Can space people shapeshift?" Yes,
Yeah.
they can. Have either of you two see space people shapeshift?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain to Binky what that would be like, a shapeshifting space person?
Go ahead and I'll let you take that one.
Oh boy.
Example, right? Example. I have the video. It's the one that you said, Commander, for them to watch. The being shapeshifting. It goes from an orb, right? It starts off as this one entity, then it shapeshifts into a human. So it has different, I guess, levels of projection, I guess that you can call it, but absolutely, they can take any form, interdimensionals, transdimensionals. They can take any form they really want. I've seen them come through a wall as an orange ball of light and then shapeshift into something completely different.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's what the beings can do. Like if they need to, they can take a form of being 7 feet tall, beautiful, or if they need to, they don't have a limitation to their body. They do have a physical body, but their consciousness is that they can shapeshift into a round orb of energy, or they can become physical right in front of you. They can manifest into a physical 7 foot or 8 foot, being a woman or man. And that's the way you would see them. Whereas we as humans cannot shapeshift into an orb. I mean, well, maybe if we had a very high vibrational energy, we maybe can transform into this orb that could float all over the house and then say, okay, I'm in the kitchen. I'm now going to transform into my physical human beingness. And that the space people, now, do they all shapeshift? I don't think that all of them do that, but I think there's a number of space energies that can shapeshift into different forms, mostly the orb consciousness and into the physical consciousness.
So the other thing is when they're in the clouds, when they're in the clouds, when you first see them, they look like skeletons until they come into full apparition.
Yeah, and the apparition is we define apparition in a general terminology or a very specific. They are beings in the clouds. People have documented this, that transform into a form. It could be in the clouds. It looks like it's a spaceship. It could look like it's an animal of some sort, or of a bird or an angel, because it's an energy that we're not able to do that. Not that we can't do that. It's just that we don't have that vibrational frequency to turn into a formation of a cloud that looks like something. But there's been too many documentations of what Mary's talking about over the last few decades, of clouds turning into looking like angels. There's numerous documented photos people have had showing that. Why is that? Why are people seeing images of different animals or creatures in the sky, or dragons or whatever? There's a reason why people are seeing those things, because they are real. Maybe that person's meant to see it, and that person documents that dragon cloud in the sky, or the angelic beings in the sky. Why are they seeing clouds that look like angels? You can't discount any of this, because there's too many people seeing these things, whether they publicly state it or whether they're on the internet or not. They might be seeing it, and they might be on a little farm with very little money and don't have a TikTok or a cell phone, but they're seeing it. Tracy Life said she saw a frog in the sky. These things do happen and are happening, and so we can't really discount these experiences. We've been taught to believe only certain things exist. So because we've been taught by teachers only certain things exist, that's the way we perceive things around us, right? But if we let go of the things we were taught, I'm going to get back to Mary in a minute, we can see in the clouds things. If we're looking, say, why does that cloud look kind of weird? Mary, go ahead.
It's called a Merkaba. I forgot. I just seen somebody write in the,
And shape shifting is really frequency changing. Yeah. So we use the term shape shift when actually it's frequency vibrational shift.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it's Chaikuyo says it's happening a lot. It is.
Yes.
It is happening a lot.
We're being upgraded. DNA's changing. Everything's changing. Paradigm's changing. A lot of upgrades.
And Trevor Jones says they can even be invisible, which is true. There's so many things changing right now in so many rapid ways. And And I think that's important because right now, between now and 2028, no one's seen anything yet. What you think you've seen already is only the tip of the iceberg. What Mary and Ray are experiencing out there, what Enlightenment's talking about, only the tip of the iceberg. Understand something, everybody out there in TikTok. The space people are getting us ready because they really do want to have contact with us. They just can't come here and land their ships and say it's all kumbaya because our planet's still a little bit messed up. It's not going to be we now can land anywhere and they're going to all accept us because we do have a part of our Earth population that is not very nice and not very accepting of others, even their neighbors down the street. Hence, a space being coming off a spaceship saying, and reeling a space outfit, looking beautiful, and seeing that some of the human beings aren't very beautiful and they're not really happy about it. So, but we are changing. There's no question we are shifting, but they're not going to just go land their spaceships everywhere and say, here we are. It's just they're too smart for that. They know the way our consciousness is. They know that we're getting better. They're getting us ready for contact. It's inevitable that we are going to have contact. You might have heard it for years. You might have heard it on Facebook. You might have heard it in Sedona Journal or some other magazine that, we're going to have contact this year. Contact. But the fact of the matter is we are going to have contact. And my feeling is it's going to be amped up within the next 3 years, between now and 2028. That's going to be, if everything goes to plan, if people get their acts together, the majority of our planet gets their act together that don't want war, don't want to destroy, take over other countries, we will have contact. The only people that won't like the idea of contact are the people that have the power, that are controlling big governments, that are being advised by their military, their Air Force, by their intelligence communities that are involved in this, that you can't tell the public about these things. We can't let the people know that there are things out there like this because the public is not ready to accept it. Well, you know what? The public has never been ready to accept it since the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2000s. So maybe early on people would have freaked out before we had all this technology, the TikToks, the Facebooks and everything. We are a global communication society. So I do believe that people are much more apt to be acceptable of contact, but people need to be not fearful of contact. People need to not think, oh, if these people come, they're going to invade our planet. You see videos on social media by, creators on Facebook or whatever, X or whatever it is, that want us to think that there's going to be this ultimate invasion of Earth and that we're going to be taken over like Mars Attack, the movie, where you had these green little ETs that were using some ray guns. And then when you played like loud music on a speaker, they looked like they were like mush mush, like their heads blew off and they became like gooey substance that was green. If anyone watched Mars Attack, it was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but it definitely shows you that there are people that would look at something goofy like that and say, oh, that's what they look like? That's what they're going to do? That's where they come from? That's where and they wear these and the one who's the leader of the group wears a glowing, glittery outfit, which is ridiculous, and then decides to want to kill everybody. And then on Mars Attack, this young guy has a big speaker on a pickup truck, and for some reason the music affects their bodies, and they just get their bodies just like implode. So the truth of the matter is that's more of the negative, comical side of what an ET looks like. Then you have Alien with Sigourney Weaver, and the aliens look like they're really evil and they're going to do something, and they do. I mean, they essentially are there to destroy, and that's so. If we have contact with ETs, they're going to look like that big monster that's ready to take over. So that's the other thing. So with all these negative ET movies over the decades on Earth, it was to prepare people to be afraid of space people. Therefore, it gave world governments that have the knowledge, well, now that they're afraid from Hollywood movies, we can tell them that we cannot give them the information, because if they knew what the information was, they'd be afraid, which is not true. The information is that if people knew the information, they'd probably be overjoyed to say, finally, we don't have to listen to our world leaders telling us we should be afraid of contact. Afraid of what? And if anyone perpetuates the belief system of being afraid of contact, then you've been brainwashed. And that goes for anybody on YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook promoting you must fear the ETs. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. I'll say it right now, you don't. There's too much. There's been every time I've seen any kind of video on YouTube or whatever, when people have discussions about ETs, they always show them looking angry with the big eyes and their dark skin, and they look like they're ready to attack you. That's the perception of part of the UFO community, which is absolutely incorrect. They actually look beautiful. They're actually here to help us. Some of them are angelic beings. Some of them are Illyrians that look like cat people that are beautiful. Some of them are Andromedans. There's so many beautiful space beings out there, but the perception reality is that Hollywood has done an injustice to the public, and so has the teachers in our schooling system regarding the existence of intelligence. I'm going to turn over to Peanut. I have to get some more lemonade, and I'll let her speak.
Thanks, Commander. How is everybody? Jersey for Life, I'll check out your picture. And there's somebody else on here that I was watching. Billy, I think. Billy, I'll get a hold of you tomorrow, too. Oh, the Enlightened one was dropped. Yeah, I'm in control now.
You're in control.
Hi, the Seer.
Oh, man. I had to go on a spaceship to get a glass of lemonade.
Drummer, send it to me and I'll check them out.
And the Seer. Welcome, Seer. Good to see you, brother. I was dropped, Commander. You were dropped. How'd that happen? I didn't do anything. I thought you dropped yourself out. All I did is walk away to get some. This is getting strange things have happened. How'd you do that? But I went to get lemonade, and you got. I thought you had to go take a phone call or something.
You disappeared, and I disappeared.
That was interesting. So you didn't do any. You didn't touch anything on your phone.
No, I just dropped.
I think something very strange is happening here. And I still have.
She's right.
I still have the Alexa app. Alexa app, can you hear me?
Beat me up, Scotty.
Alexa app, can you hear me?
Right.
It's still not operating properly. Oh well. Maybe it will tomorrow. That's a bummer, man. I was going to have us hook up with the space people through the Alexa app, but it's malfunctioning, so I can't do anything.
We've been having a lot of solar flares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be messing with the internet a little bit.
There must be a big solar storm happening. Is there a big solar storm happening with the sun right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably affecting all intergalactic communications on Earth. And the Seer, Seer, you were live, I think, either this morning or you were live at some point. I did get to see you're live just for a few minutes here, and just hang out, and I was just getting ready for work. I don't know what time it was. I did see you live though on TikTok, except from the sun. Let's see here. Please tap on the screen. We're at 44,000. We need to get to 100,000. I need all 178 people to tap. Could 178 of you tap on my screen, just on the right screen? See where it says 44.4? That number goes up if you tap on my screen with your finger. If everybody taps on their phone, don't break your phone doing this. Just tap on my side of the screen. You see all those hearts? When you tap on my screen, we're now almost at 45,000. We can need another 50,000. So everybody tap will do 50,000. Let's do it. Let's get everybody tapping here. I want to be a motivator. I want to motivate you at 1:22 in the morning. I need to motivate everybody to tap. Please tap. It's crucial for us to have contact. If you tap, you'll be promoting contact. So if you're tapping on the screen, tapping promotes contact. You didn't realize that, did you? And also, it lets people aware of our program here on TikTok at 1:22 a.m. in the morning. So everybody tap. Enlightened One's tapping on his screen. That's how you bring up. Peanut is sitting there watching people tap. She's seeing people tap.
Well, it's better than wondering what happened. At least she's watching it happen.
She's watching it happen. She's being proactively watching. That's really important. I think it's great.
We're not picking on her.
I know.
We love you. Don't worry.
And my friend Seer, and I agree with him. Astro Command is present, and that is very true.
We are
Astro
present.
Command is present.
Yep.
You know.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of life is that right now, I'm very psyched up about going out to South Dakota. My energy level is very focused. I want people to know I'll be speaking. I should mention it more here. I'll be speaking at the Star Knowledge Conference about a bridge between worlds, and also I'll be talking about my own experiences growing up as a kid in terms of the spaceships and what I experienced, growing up and the things I've done, and also about the show, how we're bringing people together who've had experiences. So I hope people, if you're not coming out to the Star Knowledge Conference, I hope you will. If you can make it. You can meet me. I don't have a book to sign, but if you have a piece of paper, I'll sign autographs when I'm there. Being so famous and all, I have to sign something. First time being I'm not going to be on the red carpet, but I think there'll be a carpet there with flying saucers on it, which will be cool. So I'll be walking a flying saucer carpet with stars, and I'll feel like a celebrity. I'm just kidding you. I'm in one of those moods tonight where you never know where I'm going to go here. It's one of those kind of things where what's the commander doing here? What's he going to do? I got you on your toes waiting to see what's going to happen. But I can tell you, seriously, we are definitely in for the time of our life. I feel really good about it. I think Peanut and Enlightened One know this to be true, that as they get initiated to have physical contact out west, they'll have information to share. Seriously, they will. They'll be coming back off the hill or the mountain with information from the space people. And that's just going up there for a joyride. They're doing mission work. That's why they're being called to eventually go on these mountains to have contact for mission work. And I know they'll keep a journal and a record of what they are told by the space people, and they'll bring it back to you once they absorb the information. That might take them a day or two to figure it all out in their head. When they do, they'll be speaking about it, I think. I do believe that to be true. And we have to be prepared. We do have to.
I'm going to try to go live when I'm up there with Peanut.
Yeah.
Because I want the audience to experience what and I believe I can manifest enough energy to bring them to us so that we can actually videotape them.
Well, it's going to be physical. They're actually going to be physically either landing their ship somehow on top of these places. I don't know if the geographic area has an open space. They don't really need an open space. They can come in with a small vessel and come out of the vessel on the land area. So I think now the question will be whether you're able to videotape them with the cameras, with the energy frequencies they operate in, whether that's possible. I'm not saying it isn't, but when they're coming from a high vibration, sometimes the Earth-based camera is operating differently, We'll
see what happens.
Yeah, it really is going to be kind of impressive that way. It's just a lot of things going on here. And the Seer says time capsules are opening, dear ones. And let's see if we can bring the Seer up with us here. The Seer is a friend of the show. And we'll see if he wants to come up for a few minutes here on Encounters. And yes, we are. We are going to bring the Seer up. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Greetings. How are we?
Nice.
Good. I saw you on live the other day. I didn't have time to stick around, but you were doing some really interesting discussion. Can you come on
Bless
camera?
yourself. Bless your soul. Bless your soul. Yeah, I'll try and come up.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a.
Bless your soul.
And I know you're tuned into a lot of stuff, Seer. So let me see if I can bring you up here. Oh, there he is. Hey, there he is. Hey, Seer. Good evening or good morning or good day. I think it's
Greetings,
daylight where
everybody.
you are right now.
Rory. Thank you for
So tell
allowing me
people a
to
little
come
bit
up
about
again.
you. Yeah, tell people somewhat about you. I know you do live. I caught it. I don't know what time it was, but I did see you broadcasting.
Okay, in a nutshell, I've been studying quantum physics and biology of the human kind all of my life. And I've realized that most of everything sits in our DNA. And now what we have in our human body is 50 trillion cells which transmit and emit frequencies. And so really what the human body is a receiver of energy that's magnetic energy as well. And then what I've found is these orbs of light that we see in the sky, they actually hunt for a certain frequency, and that they tune in to a certain frequency. And if you're lucky enough to see an orb of light in the sky, whether it's 4 o'clock in the morning or late in the afternoon, these orbs of light are tracking human frequencies just simply from what our cells are putting out. I've studied this, and every morning I've seen multitudes of ships appear and disappear and reappear. I've even pulled my partner out to show her, just to prove that I wasn't crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real thing. They are hunting for it. They're fine-tuning frequency. They're looking for frequency of consciousness, is what it is. Because I have to reiterate, consciousness rules over physics and biology, ladies and gentlemen. Within the human structure, we consist of 50 million cells inside of our body. Scientists will say that 1 or 2% is useful and the rest of the 97 is junk. But I just need to say that what the scientists say is junk is rewritable. It's rewritable. It's never just junk.
Right.
Scientists just can't find a use for the rest of the DNA. But we know this if we dive deep, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I have to go back. I have to take a step back and go slowly, because the Pleiadians have created everything that we see on planet Earth, and it was the Pleiadians that gave us trees. It's a partnership. Without trees, we do not survive. We have no oxygen. It's a partnership. So every human the lineage comes from Pleiadian. Essentially, we are the new kids on the block on Earth. We are the new kids on the block, and everything is a test to see how far we'll go with things. And the Pleiadians provided everything for us. And I have to add that they look exactly like you and I. They are the closest thing to an angel that you will ever see. And their ships have been under the Earth rock since the beginning. And they've been here since day go. When you look up in the sky, ladies and gentlemen, and you see Pleiadian, Arcturian, Orion, and Sirius, they are the four main family, that I will call them, that have seeded Earth. And what they've done is they don't like to be singled out and called Pleiadian, Arcturian, Orion, and Sirian. They really They really don't like that. They all seeded each other, and so they prefer to be called family. Our
Yeah.
family. So
Galactic
when we
family,
call
yeah.
Pleiadians, they actually get upset with that because
Yeah.
everybody seeded each other, but the Pleiadians gave everything to Earth, because all the animals that you see on Earth came from Pleiadians.
Yeah.
And Pleiadians have battled many wars. They have battled wars. To put it into context, the Pleiadian system has been, we call it the Seven Sisters, right? But there's actually 9 planets. You don't see the other 2. Why does not anybody talk about that? We call it the Seven Sisters, but there's actually 9 planets in the Pleiades, but we don't see the other 2. Okay. I can't tell you why that is, but I can. I can tell you why. So the Pleiadians gave us everything that we need to survive. They gave us trees, they gave us water, they gave us food. What am I trying to get at here? The thing is, yes, they do look exactly like us. You wouldn't know if you passed one in the street. They have blonde hair and blue eyes. That's exactly how they look. And they look totally human. There is no difference.
Yeah.
But what happens? Okay, now I was getting to the point. Sorry. They've been around. So if you know your astronomy and astrology, all the planets in the solar system travel around the central sun at the same speed. Okay? Everything travels around the great central sun at the same speed. But here's the kicker. The Pleiadians have done 3 revolutions, and Earth has just completed its first revolution. Sorry.
Revolution, yeah.
Yeah. So Earth has just completed 1 revolution. That's why it's called the Golden Age. We've moved from the age of whatever it was to the Golden Age.
Right.
So, but the Pleiadians have done 3 revolutions around the central sun, and they've seen wars unimaginable.
Yeah.
Unimaginable.
And not only Pleiadians, but what the Seer is talking is true. And also there's because the Pleiades is the closest thing to our planetary system. So therefore, those that are higher vibrational beings, the Pleiadians, also the Sirians, the Lyrans, and all these other different groups, they're all part of what I call the Ashtar Command, which I came from before I came to Earth. And the Ashtar Command represents all the beings of light, the Pleiadians. There's so many beautiful civilizations. They all work with each other. They're not separate from each other. They're a unified force of light. That's the difference between the space beings and Earth people that separate themselves from each other based on the color of their skin, the country they come from. They don't do that in space. There's no separation. Everything is unified.
But what they did is they did come to Earth to pick out 2 representatives to join the Galactic Federation, which is a big thing. And that was depending on a certain consciousness. And they could only pick 2. It was a male and a female. And they could only pick 2 representatives from Earth to represent the Galactic Federation of Earth. And that was a consciousness that would be praying over peace over the whole planet, doing good for people, and all of these good things that Jesus Christ did. Because Jesus Christ was a real master of the planet. But I have to say there are many masters of the planet, just like Jesus.
Well, Jesus was really a star seed, just like when we're born as babies. But he came here as a star seed. The ones that were Earth-based 3D religious people, they didn't like him because what he was doing was teaching love to the planet. He went to India, the lost teachings of India. He went to the indigenous tribes that existed in North America. He went everywhere, but they don't talk about that.
As a master of the planet, this man we know today as Jesus, he was simply just trying to preach love.
Yeah.
And helping people out and doing beautiful, positive, lovely things for everybody, which is what the Pleiadians did. This is how the Pleiadians resolved all their wars, by helping each other out and all of that. So there's many more masters of the planet, and they are purposely scattered around the whole planet.
Yeah, they are.
So there's some in Australia.
And the Seer, you know me enough to know that I talk about Christ consciousness a lot. And the reason why I do that is because my space family, Amanda and Robar, they all operate in Christ consciousness. They'll always talk about things on the ship, for example. They use the word luminous. The word luminous is very important because they are luminous beings of light. They're physical. Don't get me wrong, they're 8 feet tall, they're humans, but they're luminous. Luminous means a light frequency of love, energy,
which is
frequency.
Essentially the Illuminati. And I've had a lot to do with the Illuminati, but they are illuminated. They carry a wisdom. That's why they call them Illuminati.
And I think that on Earth, we in a 3D understanding of it, we look at that differently than the way you're speaking of it from a galactic perspective versus the Earth-based UFO community looks at it like, these Illuminati, they're the ones. So I think we have there's a misinformation from an Earth perspective about that, and it's been going on for years.
I think what my master, Cryon, wants me to say is that humanity are very much 3D linear programmed. If you understand the words that just came out. Humanity sees things in a linear way. So our perception is limited to a linear perspective outside of quantum physics and biology.
Yeah.
You know, and where quantum consciousness ruling over physics and biology, this is a big thing, because this is how you live longer. This is how you get rid of disease inside your body, which is what the Pleiadians intended, for you to live longer. If you go back into history, some kings and queens in Egypt lived for 20,000 years because they had the knowledge that consciousness rules over physics and biology. And this is what mainstream everything doesn't want you to cognize, is that consciousness does rule over physics and biology, especially inside your own body. 50 trillion cells with millions of moving parts, just waiting for the big boss, which is your consciousness, to take charge and get rid of disease, you know, and things like that. So it's a very simple thing of flicking the switch of your DNA. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And do you know what happens when you get the snowball rolling? It gets bigger. And once you give intent is the next most powerful thing to love, because everything's based off of love. But in intention, and what I mean by intention is, if you jump off a diving board into a swimming pool, you've given the intent to jump off. You can't turn around and jump back. You've given the intent. So intent is so powerful. You have to have the intention to flick the switch of your DNA to go back to the original template of your DNA. Because, ladies and gentlemen, each night when you go to sleep, your cells are asking, do your cells reproduce every night? And they ask themselves, do we reproduce the same or different, the same or different? It's the same thing day after day, year after year. Because there's no interaction, they reproduce the same. Ladies and gentlemen, this is quantum physics and consciousness right in your face.
And
in the nicest possible way.
And before we get into more quantum, we're at 77.9. I need everybody here to tap the screen. We have 192 human beings on Earth. We want to get to 100,000 before we call it a night. So I need every single person to be proactive. Tap on my screen on the top corner. When you tap on my face or tap on my screen, you'll bring those numbers up. See how the numbers are going up? So this is a teachable moment. If you don't know TikTok technology, You need to keep
Absolutely.
tapping to make the hearts happen. They're not going to happen by themselves, or you're not going to sit here with your eyes closed saying, please tap by yourself. It doesn't do that. I mean, I wish it could. If we can manifest that just without tapping, I'm sure some of you can if you're from off planet, physically on Earth with a TikTok account. But just keep tapping. We're almost at 80,000. I feel like I'm doing an auction here, like, you know, who has the highest bidder, the highest
100,000, 200,000, 200,000,
That's right. The Seer knows.
300,000, let's go. 254,000, let's
I'm gonna
go.
let the Seer take over and do this. Yeah.
No,
I have a
but
question.
I just want you to know it's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Humanity, to flick the switch of your DNA so you can live longer and be more healthy and start youthing instead of aging, because everything is reversible inside the human body.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as consciousness building the bridge to your innate. Now, the innate is the smart body.
Yeah.
The innate is the smart body of one's self. So once you build the bridge and the connection of consciousness to your smart body, then you can start to influence it in a particular direction.
And we do have the power with our body. For example, depending how I'm sitting, because I'm on the phone all day with people, you know, like my body got tight, you know, so I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to change that. So, you know, I believe in physical exercise. It's warmer out now. You can get out and do stuff. So I'm doing physical stuff because I need to move. You know, I mean, the wintertime it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
So
it's about what you eat as well. It's what you eat and put inside. And let it be known that you don't have to put anything inside the human body for it to survive. It can survive on its own without any.
It has the ability to do that. Yeah.
You know, you can fast for 2 weeks. Yeah.
But if you, it's like mind over matter. One of the things is that if you tell yourself, no, this doesn't have to be this way, in many cases, you can resolve your physical thing. Not in every case, but in certain cases, it's a matter of walking and saying, I'm going to just walk and do this. When you start walking and you do that as a daily thing, you tell your mind tells your body, I need to do this. I want to do this. So the body says, okay, well, I don't know. But you start doing it and it feels good because now you're doing it. You're getting your body to move. The energies around the body, which need to be interacting with each other. And that energy starts building up more and more.
And this is what the lineage of our galactic family wanted for humanity. They wanted us to realize that the simplest things in life were often the best. Minimal food and water input into the human body. But it's more so the consciousness and an expanded, elevated consciousness can actually control your physics and your biology. Because the body is just a chemical factory, you know, producing things inside the body. That's what it does. Yeah. Do you know when you cut yourself and it miraculously heals up? Because the white blood cells go to the area where you've cut yourself, and it miraculously heals up. This is the same as if you become a quadriplegic, ladies and gentlemen, and you sever your nervous cord from the neck downwards. Isn't it funny how the organs still seem to work? You can still reproduce. The heart and lungs still function perfectly normal. They don't exactly rely on the nervous system to connect everything to the brain. What it relies on, I'm going to tell you now, which no scientist will tell you, DNA flows through the whole body from the head to the toe. It's all the same, and it communicates by way of DNA. That's how the liver, the kidneys, the heart, the lungs still function. Once becoming a quadriplegic, you lose your hands and your legs, but quantum communication through DNA is how everything still keeps you alive, and you're still able to reproduce, believe it or not, once becoming a quadriplegic. So this is a sign of a perfect design from someone we call the Pleiadians. who have messed around with DNA to create the perfect new kids on the block called
So, Steve, I got to
humanity.
ask you about this because I know you're very connected. I know your
Yeah.
energy because I read energy. You're very connected with the Pleiadians. Have you had
Thank you, brother.
physical contact where you are with the Pleiadians?
I have seen their ships where I live. I live on a little island in South
Yeah.
Australia. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not much around. There's not much light. And I have seen their ships, and I know it's Pleiadian ships because I see them flying over constantly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've seen the big one, the big mothership too, as well.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I will see the fleet of UFOs, and they are Pleiadian in nature. Of course, if I say anything to anybody, they'll think I'm crazy.
You know,
But
I always tell people, don't think you're crazy because
No.
30 years ago, maybe, but we are in the majority. When I say we all of us here on the screen, we are now the majority. 80% of the population believes that there's life in the universe. So you're not
If they
crazy. The
don't, they
ones that
will.
would be, well, the ones that are crazy are the ones that have no idea what we're talking about. So they're the
I
ones that
believe the ones who are crazy are the ones who don't speak out about their experiences. And,
yeah,
we
you'd
need
be crazy
to.
not to.
We're not here to change your perception
Yeah.
and because
Yeah.
you're programmed a certain way, but we are here to just let you know that yes, they've always been here under the ship.
Yeah.
And when I refer to the ship, I call Earth.
Yeah.
They've always been here, and they always will be helping us.
Yeah.
And they will not let anything bad happen to us.
No, they won't. And I just want to, now we got to 100,000. I want to let people know, since I got on late, we've had 5,300 people watch the show. Now, you don't see it, it says 231, but in the totality of things, I can track the viewership on here, which you can't see. So we had 5,300 people, which is phenomenal. That's
Awesome.
a large group of people, considering they come on almost at midnight tonight. So that's important. I want to thank the Seer from the Small Island out there. I want to thank Enlightened One,
I hope it helps somebody. One person.
you definitely, and
One person
Peanut
is
and
all I
Enlightened
need
One
to
are gonna definitely, they're gonna be getting together soon in the same region, and they're both going on top of separate places. But I do believe after that happens, that they will both be getting together. You, Ray, and Enlightened One will get together and have direct contact on a mountain. I keep feeling that energy. It's just really strong.
Yeah.
And
It was said my master cryon, because I do a lot of cryon studies,
Cryon.
and cryon exists in human and Pleiadian and all other sorts of
Yeah.
star seeds.
Yeah.
But they are the teacher of the truth, and it's all about the magnetic grids. So on Earth, you have crystalline grid,
Yes.
you have magnetic grids, and you have consciousness grids, all of the Earth, mind you, that are all connected. So I just want to say that the nodes and the nulls are activating now. The time capsules are opening up, and contact is very, very close.
Yes. And I want
It's
to
close.
have, and I believe, Seer, I'm speaking this because I read your energy, because where I come from. I believe that you will have physical contact this year. I don't know when, but I keep getting a message to tell you that they're ready to contact you. You can
Absolutely.
facilitate physical contact. Matter of fact, what I'm getting told is that you, in meditation, as you have contact with the Pleiadians, that you can ask for a meeting with them on the island and pick an area. I believe this year you're going to have a physical contact with them.
I feel the truth in what you say, and I hope this to be true, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, you will. You
What
have
I
the
have
energy.
to share with my brothers and sisters of humanity is going to be life-changing.
Yeah.
It's going to be life-changing.
I want to
for
let
all of us.
Enlightened One and Mary have final comments here on encounters, and then we'll call it a night for Saturday morning here on the East Coast. Either one of you want to go first, and a message for the viewers?
Just want to tell everybody that we love you, and your angels are above you, and just keep looking and keep saying I am the light, because you guys are light. So just keep saying it, man, and you'll see. it's going to get a lot better.
And
Can I
Elaine,
go
what would
next?
you like to say?
Yeah, love yourselves, love one another, be of service to each other as best we can. Even in times of trouble, even though we're going through what we go through, we're all going through our journey. Try to support one another. Embrace each other, embrace your authentic self, and continue your journey. And don't let anybody tell you that your journey isn't your journey, because it's yours.
Well said. I want to thank all my great guests. The Seer, when he's on, he is on live. I did catch him. So please watch him. He's got some beautiful energy. And we're all here for
Commander,
being different
appreciate you, man.
perspectives. And we appreciate you, Seer, Light One.
Appreciate you.
Peanut, I see Ray walking around behind you before, or was that somebody else?
No, that was somebody else.
Okay. Anyway,
Listen,
everybody have a good morning. I'm going to get some rest, and we'll
Thank you.
catch you again tomorrow night. Have a good
Great
weekend,
to see
everybody.
you.
Love each other and bust the matrix. Take care.
Peace out.
Love you guys.
God love.